Struggling to convert clients despite all your visibility efforts? You're not alone. In this episode, we'll share simple steps to boost client growth. So stay with us to discover how to streamline your client journey and build a thriving business today. So if you're ready for actionable strategies, don't forget to subscribe to our channel at Ritzel Rectra. Like and share this video so you never miss out on valuable tips. Hey everyone, welcome to Talking Business with Ritz, where we uncover the human behind the title before the offer. So this is Ritzel, Rectra, and today's episode, we will give you the insights you've been waiting for, straight from the people who've lived it. Okay, stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe again to keep getting real unfiltered stories that drive real results. Here we go. All right, now it's time to meet our expert guest for today, right? I'm excited to introduce to you Coach Chrissy Mellinger, a business coach with over 12 years of experience in strategic project management, finance, and business leadership. Let me just put her on stage so I'm not talking by myself. There we go. All right, so Coach Chrissy specializes in helping coaches, consultants, and online experts grow their revenue sustainability without burning out. So her mission is to help entrepreneurs build businesses that don't just succeed, but thrive. So that is allowing to live your life while making an impact. So today, she'll be sharing her insights on how to convert clients without solely relying on visibility. Interesting. So trust me, you'll want to take notes. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Chrissy Mellinger. Here we go. Hi, Coach. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Ritz. Thank you so much for having me today.
All right. So now let's get on with the show. Let's get to know the human behind the title. Are you ready, Coach Chrissy?
I am ready.
All right. So let's start with the first question. Who is Chrissy Mellinger as a person?
I like to say that as a person, I'm an ever-evolving creature of love and chaos.
Wow.
My intention with everything that I do in my life is to bring love, to create love, and just to share that love and that good intention. Mm-hmm. And because I'm a human being, it comes with a little spice of chaos because I have a lot of goals. I have a lot of things that I want to do in life. So there's always just this extra little bit of like, let's go do the thing. Let's go break it down and make it better. I am other than a business coach, right? I am obsessed with dogs. I have 2 dogs. I, like every other dog parent, think that mine are the absolute best thing in the world. I'm obsessed with animals. I volunteer with the dog rescue based out of Rhode Island in the Northeast United States. I've been volunteering with them for about 6 years now, and it is one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done, just to be able to fundraise money for animals, to place them into homes that love them, and to help people get to just like experience the love of an animal, which is entirely pure and good and perfect.
Yes, love that.
Right? Like they're just so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I am married to the human love of my life. I love to hike. I am a huge reader. I devour fantasy books like it's my job. And I just like to be outside in the sunshine.
Wow. All right. Thank you for sharing that one. Now, can you tell us a bit more about how you started as a business coach?
Yeah, I will be as concise as I can be. So really, I think it goes back to when I was a kid, when I was 8 years old. For whatever reason, like I can't actually tell you why this happened, but I thought, oh, you know what I really want to do in life? I want to have my own spa resort. So for the next 20 years, literally the next 20 years, I did everything I could to understand business, to get into, I worked in hotel management for a long time, to understand how to serve customers, because what I really wanted to do was to make people happy, to help, again, spread that love, spread that joy in the world. Then the pandemic hit in 2020. I was furloughed for most of the year because the hotel industry did not exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I took that as my opportunity. I had been happy in my job, but it wasn't what I wanted to do long term, right? I wanted to work for myself. I didn't want to work for a company. So I did a lot of soul searching and realized I can actually serve people better by bringing more people into relationship with their dreams, helping women specifically grow their own businesses. Because I also know from my finance and my economics background that when women have influence and power and money, the entire community does better. It's how we invest differently. It's how we spend our time, etc.
Yes.
So, right? You know this. You're
Me too.
giving back every week. And it was that combination of I'm really good at business and I like it. I want to help women specifically. And I am someone who am very confident taking up space and being loud and voicing my opinion and being different and outspoken, right? And it was figuring out how I can do that that led me to coaching. And when I started out, it was just I want to help everybody. Come, let me talk about your problems.
Right.
Quickly realized that I do not want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about business. That's what my area of expertise is. And I just kind of pivoted from general life coaching to business coaching. And now I get to work with really incredible women who are doing things differently.
That is so amazing.
Thank you.
Really, really amazing. All right. Now, Ms. Coach Chrissy, what's one powerful lesson you learned early, that you think every online entrepreneur needs to hear?
The biggest lesson for me was to trust in who you are. I had come from the world of big business. I worked for the largest hotel company. I knew business. But transitioning to how do I do it on my own, instead of listening to my own gut and my own instinct, I started to listen to a lot of the experts and a lot of the big names and in coaching in the online space, which was great. I learned a lot. And also, I think I ended up wasting a lot of time in following what other people were doing or following what they said was going to be the best way to do things.
Right.
Without listening to what I knew to be true for myself. Entrepreneurship is an interesting journey. I truly believe it's one of the most eye-opening personal development journeys someone can ever go on.
Yes, indeed.
And you have to allow yourself to take the lead, like step into that position of learn from the experts. That's literally why we're here today. Learn from the experts, listen and consume, but also distill out what's going to work for you and listen to your own heart and your own gut or instinct or intuition, whatever you want to call it, and let that be the driving force above everything else, because it will help you so much more than just thinking I have to follow this strategy or I have to do it this way because so-and-so told me.
Indeed, indeed. So I think almost all of the entrepreneurs that I've talked to, all throughout this 100 episodes, right? Most of their learnings are actually stay true to yourself, right? We've gone through that. Even I myself also what's the best strategy right now? Let's follow that. Let's do that, right? So yeah, what you said is really, really the truth. I mean, that is what we need to do. We learn from what the experience of others. We can't experience everything, right? We learn from them, see whether it adapts to us. It relates to us, and then we execute, right? All right. Now, thank you for sharing that. So now it's time for the lightning round of questions. Are you ready, Coach Chrissy?
I am.
All right. Here we go. All right. First question. What's your favorite word and why?
So I'm not going to say it, but my favorite word is the F word.
Oh my. Okay.
Because I know it's controversial, but I truly think that it is one of those words that can truly describe so many different emotions
Mm-hmm.
without having to necessarily articulate it. And I feel like for humans, we don't have, like, no language in the world has enough variation to accurately describe the wide range of emotions that we can have. So
Right.
that one for me is that kind of poor articulation that with the right intonation can get it across more clearly.
Right.
Plus, as
Right.
someone who's very like passionate, it gets my point across quickly without me necessarily having to yell sometimes.
I understand that. Because if we then, say all the feelings that we are feeling at that moment, it's gone. It's, you can say a lot of things and then okay, it passed. The moments passed, but with just that one word, right?
Mhm.
It says a lot. All right. Now, next question. What's your favorite way to start the day?
I love snuggling my dogs in bed. It really does. So from a science perspective, they help regulate my nervous system. They give me all
Yeah.
of that kind of that touch without overwhelming.
Yeah.
But they are my family. So being able to start my day, like hearing their little snores or getting their like really stinky breath in my face, actually just lets me start my day with love.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice way to wake up.
Wow. Love that. All right. Next question. What's one book that has changed your life?
The 5 people you meet in heaven.
Oh, interesting.
It's I can't think of the author's name right now, but it's who
Right.
wrote Tuesdays with Maury. It's Mitch something.
Mhm.
But it's a book about this gentleman dies and he goes and he meets 5 different people in heaven. Some of them he knew, some of them not, but it's people who have all influenced his life in some way. And I think I read it for the first time when I was like 17 or 18. I was still in high school.
Uh-huh.
And it just opened up my eyes to realizing we're all interconnected, whether it's the random person that you pass on the street that you never see again, or it's someone that you get to spend an hour with on a day, or someone that you see every day.
Right.
We are never alone. We are never just like a human living in a lonely existence. It really opened up my eyes to, wow, we actually are really all connected.
Indeed. Indeed. Like right now, we are connected right now.
Exactly.
All right. Now, next question. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl, absolutely.
Night owl. High five.
Right? It's more fun after 10 o'clock. Don't talk to me before 9 a.m.
All right. Now, what's your favorite productivity hack?
That's a good one. Go outside. I think most people think that they have to just like do.
Yeah.
But at some point, your brain is going to turn off. You're going to burn out. You can't sustain it.
Yeah.
Take a break every so often. Go outside, feel the sun on your face, like breathe fresh air, and you are going to be so much more rejuvenated.
Right. Thank you. Are you more of a planner or do you go with the flow?
I am definitely more of a planner.
Right. All right. Next question. How would your friends describe you in 3 words?
Ambitious,
Mhm.
stubborn, and fun.
Ambitious, stubborn, and fun. What a combination.
I am a force.
Right. Okay, now on the serious side, say you are facing your younger self right now. What advice would you give your younger self?
Keep believing in yourself and don't let anyone else get you down.
Wow, great advice.
Yeah.
Very succinct. All right, that was awesome. All right, so that was fun. That was a fun way to really get to know a bit more of Coach Chrissy. Now it's time to dive into what we are here for, which is Coach Chris's expertise in client conversion. For all the entrepreneurs out there who've been, feeling like they're stuck, chasing visibility without results, you are in the right place right now. So, Coach Quizzy is about to share some powerful strategies that will completely change the way you approach client growth. So, stay tuned. Here we go. All right, welcome back. Amazing fan members. We are now in the Learn from the Expert segments, right? So, do you think more visibility means more client? I don't think so. Think again. So, in this episode, we are going to learn how to convert clients without chasing the spotlight. All right. So, I'm flashing now the first, our topic for today, which is convert clients without focusing on visibility. This is proven business strategy. All right. So, Coach Crazy, many believe more visibility equals more clients, but you found another way. So, can you share how focusing less on visibility and more on client conversion has actually transformed businesses?
Yes. So conversion is you need both in business. So you need visibility because people need to know that you exist. If no one knows that your business exists, you don't have a business.
Right.
But visibility alone is not actually what makes you real money. Conversion does. So
Right.
get out in front of people and figure out how to turn those people into customers. Customers being someone who is giving you information. So it's taking people off of social media or off of a generic Google search into your email list because they're giving you their email address.
Right.
It's taking people off of your email who may or may not be opening to then joining you in a class or a workshop. They're giving you their time rather.
Right.
Or it's them buying something from you, whether it's $1 or it's $1,000 or whatever. They're giving something and investing in themselves through you.
Mhm.
When you convert at even just a 1 to 2% rate, that has a better and higher bottom line effect than if you grow your visibility. You can have an audience of hundreds of thousands of people, but if you don't actually know how to convert any of them into paying or investing clients, it
Mhm.
doesn't really keep your business afloat. Whereas
Right.
if you learn to convert just a small percentage of them, you've got it made. And when you focus on increasing that conversion rate, you don't actually have to go out and just keep churning out content and creating tons and tons of new blogs or videos or reels or podcast episodes or things like that. You really get to intimately create relationships, and relationships, regardless of the business that you have, relationships are the cornerstone of your success and your sustainability. So conversion really is what's going to keep your business in business for a very long time to come.
Right. Right. That is that makes a lot of sense actually. So we have some live audience right now. Let's just hi Francis Jirafe. Good morning, evening, ladies. Yes. It is morning, evening on my side. All right. Stay with us, Francis, and ask your questions later. All right. So once business owners start focusing on conversions, rather than visibility, as what you've said. What shifts do you typically see in the results?
More money, absolutely. More conversations. So
Mhm.
I primarily work with service-based entrepreneurs, not necessarily product. And when
Mhm.
they start to focus on conversion, when they start to create a real client journey that brings people from not knowing who you are to deep into relationship with you,
Yeah.
again, through those investments in time, money, etc., they start to actually form connections. They start to have people become paying clients much more quickly because they've built up that know, like, and trust factor. They've built up 3 core beliefs. In order for someone to buy from you, that person has to believe, 1, that they are capable of achieving whatever it is their goal is. 2, they have to believe that you are the person who's going to get them there. And
Right.
3, they have to believe that your offer is the solution to get them there. And by having focus on conversion, a focus on client journeys, a focus on building relationships, you're doing all of that, which means you're having more conversations. You're having people reach out to you instead of you constantly having to reach out and kind of chase clients.
Right.
I've also seen for myself and for clients as well that other opportunities come in, because it's not just about paying clients. It's having people reach out to you to do a collaboration, having people reach out to you to do a speaking event, having people reach out to you to work with you in a different capacity. It really opens up, 1, your credibility. It builds a lot more reputation for yourself. You actually build
Right.
up that expert status. And it builds up the opportunities that become available to you with a lot less stress on your part and a
Mhm.
lot less hustle. Because again, Ritz, exactly as you're doing in this show, you're building that human to human connection. You're building the fact that, like, yeah, I'm a business coach and I'm really good at what I do, but
Right.
also I'm a fun human to hang out with. You want to hang out with me, right? Like, that's
Right.
what we're doing when we work on the conversion piece.
Right. That's amazing. And I'm sure many in our audience are already wondering how they can implement this approach. Right. Sometimes people really overcomplicate. I, for one, is that when I was starting. It's like, how am I going to talk to these people whom I don't know? Right. What kind of conversation? What shall I, I'm not very good at small talks.
Mhm.
Right. I'm a very direct and on point person. So when I have something to ask, I ask.
Mhm.
That, that's how I approach conversation. So if you have something to ask me, just go directly ask me. And then if I know the answer, I can, reply to you. If I don't know, maybe I can find somebody who will and who can. So so for me, as a technical person, I was like, how am I going to do that? Right. So this was my answer. So now we are in 100 plus, 100 plus episode. So yeah. So can you walk us through the first step entrepreneurs should take if they want to really shift, right? From visibility driven strategies to conversion focus. So I know we have to talk to them. How?
That's an excellent question. So it's really about, 1, understanding how you personally operate. So, Ritz, like, I love your example because I am very much the same way. I do not want to chit chat about, like, how your kids are doing. I want to talk to you
Oh,
about the
yeah,
goals that you have,
exactly.
right? But you have to know who you are. I know that I work really well face to face when I can have a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
For people who aren't necessarily comfortable doing that, maybe they can't have like a one-on-one consultation call or something like that. Knowing that about yourself and finding the strategies and the ways to go about it that allow you to be in your element.
Mm.
So, for instance, you've got this amazing show that helps you have real conversations that go real quick, deep into something.
Right.
Awesome. It's a great place for you to connect with people, show your expertise as a tech person, and go out and do the thing. For
Right.
me, I love to teach and I love to be on camera and in front of people and like in the deep of it. So my client journey is, hey, come sign up for a masterclass. Let me do 30 seconds of chit chat. Hi, how are you? And then let's get deep into teaching and learning something that's going to change your business. Because that's my element. I work really well there. So it's knowing, first of all, who you are and not forcing yourself to do a strategy or follow something that doesn't make sense for who you are and that you're uncomfortable and you're like sweating and dripping by the end of the thing. Don't do that.
Right. Right.
And then the second step is really to build mini steps. So the whole point of conversion is to make multiple decision points easier. When you focus on conversion, you no longer ask someone who just met you, hey, come spend time with me. Come give me your money. That's a focus on visibility. When you focus on visibility, it's, hi, you just met me via an email, a blog post, a social media post, etc. Come buy my thing. And there's this huge gap between you just met me, come buy my thing, or come spend time with me, etc. The conversion, however, instead of going from here to here, actually says, hey, you just met me. Come sign up for my free thing. That's an easy yes. And then you add in another step. This is going to start annoying me. Then you add in another step that says, okay, you just signed up for my free thing. You spent 60 minutes with me. Come have an hour-long conversation or come chat with me in the DMs. It's no longer taking this big ask, this big gap.
Yeah.
It's now giving them small steps. So ask yourself, once you figure out, like, I'm really good showing up in this way, ask yourself, what are the logical steps, the logical mini steps that build that connection, build that relationship, and also make it easier for the other person, the client, to feel safe deepening that relationship. That's what we need to do in conversion. That's what we need to do in life, really. But that's what we need to do in conversion is, how do we create a place of safety where we're not saying, hey, you just met me, buy my $5,000 program. But hey, I see you. Let's hang out. Let's like see if the vibe matches.
Right.
Here's a way that you can get a win, that you can learn something, that you get something back in a way that feels safer.
Right. Right. So, of course, as a client, you have to actually do that as well, right? Before you turn into a client, before you actually buy someone else's program, you have to do your due diligence as well. So you have to research that person. So that would mean that you're gonna consume little by little of what that service provider is giving, right? So that you'll know whether what you've said, whether you vibe, do you understand how she talks, right? Are you actually, getting something from her, right? If you learn something from her free stuffs and all that, and you can easily understand what she's talking about, then that probably is, you then can go to the next step and consume more, right? Yeah. So that's great. It's about creating a streamlined client experience from the start.
Exactly.
So that's something actually everyone can benefit from. Thank you for sharing that. So what's the common mistake you see when businesses first make this transition? How can they actually avoid it?
The common mistake is that they don't go small enough. They don't actually build up an entire ecosystem of support. So if I were to really simply state a client journey, right? Or a funnel. A lot of people hear the word funnel. I think it takes the human out of it, which is why I say client journey. Most people think of a client journey is, you saw my social media post, you sign up for my masterclass or my workshop or my whatever, and then you buy my thing.
click and buy.
Right, exactly. So they're literally just adding one step of that masterclass or that workshop. And that's not enough, especially as consumers across the globe are becoming more and more cautious with their money.
Exactly.
If you're a business to business, if you work with other business owners who have been around for a couple of years, 90+% of them have been burned. They're even more we both have been.
Right.
So they're even more cautious with their dollars. So the biggest mistake people make when they start focusing on conversion is thinking, oh, I'll just slap one step in there and that's enough. But again, we're asking them to go from not really knowing us or having any trust or knowledge of what we do to then doing one step to then doing another step. And to actively avoid that, as you're planning out how you're going to convert people, what your client journey looks like, etc., think about it as the business owner, as the CEO, and then pause, take a step back and put on your consumer hat and say, if I didn't know anything about my business, right? And I just saw this post and then I was led to here and then I was led to there, would that be enough for me to invest? And then, because we all have different buying behaviors, we all have different goals that we're working towards, different levels of priority, ask yourself, or even better, if you have friends who have different priorities than you, ask them, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Would this be enough? What are the gaps that I'm missing? Because I think so many people, one biggest mistake is I'm going to plaster one step in there and that's enough. But then we don't actually get out of our zone of expertise. We are business owners. We know what we're doing. But we also need to think like a consumer. We need to think like somebody who's not living and breathing our business 24/7.
Right.
And that's how you do it, is make it smaller steps, build that ecosystem of support, right? Those different touch points, those different ways of communicating, and bring in other people to give you feedback. If you're a solopreneur, especially, we get so stuck in our heads and don't often ask for enough feedback and support from other people.
Right.
Ask your coach if you've got one. Ask a biz bestie if you've got one. Ask a friend off the street if you don't have anyone else. Get their feedback and see if it makes sense to you, and then actually apply what they said.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So actually, what you said, thinking of like a consumer of your own business, of your own products and all that, that actually makes sense, it's going to give you a different perspective. If you are the one consuming your own product, right, will you invest in your own products? I think that's the best questions you can ask yourself. Right. So I think we have some comments from Francis. Energy safe, right? Energy safe place and relationship. Yes, thank you. All right, let's jump to the Q&A. Here we go. Let me prepare that. All right. So that wraps up our Learn from the Expert segment, and now we're opening the floor for the Q&A segment where we'll answer some of your questions. So Francis, if you have questions, go and type it in the comment, and I'll flash it on the window so that Coach Chrissy can answer as well. So let's start with the segment title. Here we go. All right, let's start with the first question. So he says, I've tried a few strategies to convert clients without focusing too much on visibility, but nothing seems to stick. What's a simple, effective trick I can make right away?
Okay. So if you've tried it a couple of different strategies, I hope that you have collected data on it. So I want you to go back and look at the data and see at what point it's breaking down. So for example, let's say, because we have a couple of different touch points. Let's say that you've tried this simple masterclass idea.
Right.
Well, how many people have you gotten to that landing page or that website? And then how many people have clicked through? How many people have actually like clicked the button to sign up or to buy or whatever? Because the first thing, if you're not getting anybody or you're not getting very many people on that website to begin with, the problem that you need to solve for first is you do need a little bit more visibility on that. You do need to work on your messaging. Maybe you need to post more about it, tell more people about it. We do need a little bit of volume, right? If you are getting a good amount of people on that landing page, but they're not clicking through to sign up for that event, then you've got to look at the landing page itself and say, what's breaking here? Is it selling in a way that is attractive, that actually captivates the audience's attention and says, this is why you need to buy this thing or invest in this thing? Or is it a little bit generic? Is it vague? Is it fluffy? Fix the landing page first. If you're getting people to your site, you're getting people to sign up for the thing, and they're joining you, but they're not moving on to that next step, ask yourself, is that next step too big? Am I going from, hey, spend 60 minutes with me to, hey, spend 10 grand on my program? That's a big gap. If that's the case, what small step can you add in? Maybe it's a consultation call or a discovery call or a sales call, whatever languaging you use.
Right.
Build something in there. Or maybe that's not it. Maybe you have a little step on the way. Is the class itself fluffy, vague, generic, basic?
Right.
Or are you giving them real value that's teaching them something new, that's pushing their perspective to change, and that's actually giving them something actionable? Human beings, we are an interesting creature. Human beings will not typically invest time or money unless they can see that somewhere they're going to have some kind of quick win.
Right.
Even the most motivated person in the world, we need that dopamine hit, right? We need that, like, I did a good job. I did it. I saw a change. So are you teaching something in that masterclass that actually provides that to them? So that's just one example, but I would go to the different points of data collection and see at what point stuff's breaking down and address that first and foremost.
Right. Amazing. You are right on those points, right? But we can also add the client onboarding part. So by the time it might be one of the causes as well for them not to really, jump the gun. All right. So next question. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Almost question because okay. What did she say? Thank you for that. That's almost my question. Okay, same question because I feel that that's the same for someone who is affiliate and more into digital products. Yes. Right. So you have to put more touch points in there before they can actually, invest, put the product in front of their face.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, let's go for the next question. All right. Are there any tools or software you can recommend that make it easier to manage the client journey without needing a huge audience?
Yes and no. I am actually, even though I'm mid-30s, I am super old school where like literally my notes are on a handwritten piece of paper.
Yeah, I want to have a very big one.
I like to keep things as simple as possible. So honestly, I think there are a lot of really great software systems out there to like build out your funnel, to have a whole CRM system that manages all your contacts and all of that. There are some great ones out there, but I think if you're newer with this, honestly, go simple. Because if you get stuck into one of these big systems, they have so many cool features and benefits that you're going to be pushed to use all of them, and you don't need that.
Yeah.
It's as simple as a Google sheet that tells you this is the event, this is the website, this is the copy, this is how many people came in, and track that data really simply. And then once you've got it figured out, then if you want to go ahead and use one of those software, I honestly don't. I keep my stuff as simple as can be. So I don't have a personal recommendation for that. I would go, like I said, just really simple if you can.
Right. Spending too much on technology is not really, good for your bottom line if you are not getting the right ROI from that.
Exactly.
So yeah. So as a solopreneur, let's jump to the next question. So as a solopreneur with limited time, how can I make the most of the strategies you've mentioned without feeling overwhelmed?
Pick one thing. So when we talk about adding in conversion, focusing on building an ecosystem, building an entire client journey, there are many steps that go into that. And there's a lot of, I'm going to repeat myself again. There's a lot of data collection. There's a lot of experimentation of what messaging works. Does this title work? Is this price point correct? And is my masterclass information correct? Pick the most pressing issue, right? Go back to one of the questions earlier. Pick the most pressing issue where stuff is falling apart the most and focus on that. Get that to a point where you start to actually see data come in with better value, more people signing up, etc. When you get that fixed, I don't like saying fixed, but when you get that in a better position, then move on to the next piece. And remember that none of this is going to happen overnight. Like you can put things in place that can generate more revenue quickly, but to really build an ecosystem and a culture of conversion, it takes time. In the same way that you cannot rush a relationship, you cannot rush conversion.
Right.
So give yourself that grace, give yourself that space to build things out, because while you don't want to sit in perfectionism, that's a waste of time, a waste of energy. You want to just give yourself some time to figure stuff out. This is not something that I want you to go out and be like, by the end of October, I'm going to have everything perfect. It's going to be miserable. Don't do that. One thing at a time.
Right. I can relate to that. 2 years ago, I tried to, be in the course creation niche, right? Created a course. Very simple course, and so started that. I tried one, so many people come in, and then I tried the next one. Oops, nobody comes in, so I got frustrated and never tried it again. So right, so I can relate to what you're saying. Don't be too attached to your creation, especially when master classes and all that stuff. Like what Coach Chrissy is saying, I got a realization right now as well. If I hadn't stopped, I would have had those data with me, right? And I would have known what I should have done, right? So it's not too late. We can start again.
I love that. I am an incredibly impatient person. Maybe that should have been one of my adjectives. My friends would probably describe me as incredibly impatient.
Right.
And we want it now. We want it right now. And we can have it now. And also,
right.
We're building long-term businesses. We're building sustainable businesses. You need data. You need to have real amounts of data, enough data to make objective decisions. I have absolutely been where you are, Ritz, of I launched something one time and it didn't work. And I was so mad. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. This is stupid. And I went and I did something different. But if I had stuck with it, maybe we'd be in a different place.
Right. Quite true. Okay, let's jump into the last question for now, what's the best way to nurture leads without constantly having to sell to them or bombard them with content?
Okay, so this is an interesting question. And before I answer it, I would actually challenge your definition of the word sell. Because I think that selling gets a really bad rap because we see so much of it being sleazy or manipulative selling.
Right.
Selling in reality is simply being of service, right? I challenge you to reframe that. Honestly, me being on this podcast, this live right now is me selling my services. Right? I'm not coming out and like bombarding you with this is what you have to do and da 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 da. But I'm showing up in a place of this is what I'm really good at. This is how I help my people. This is actually a form of selling. Ritz coming on and hosting this every week is a form of her selling. But it's again this act of service of like we truly want to help and give back and provide to other people. So I would ask you to reframe your perspective around that, because a lot of us have really bad mindsets around selling. Unhelpful, not bad, unhelpful.
Right.
To actually answer your question, I do think it's necessary to reframe that mindset and then also ask yourself, how can you build a relationship with them? If at the end of the day, nurturing leads, which is really just building relationships as a human being to another human being,
Right.
How can you do that? Is it perhaps sharing behind the scenes? Human beings, whether we admit it or not, are incredibly nosy creatures.
Exactly.
I am extremely nosy. How can you show people what it is that you're working on? If you've got a group program or you've worked with a client and they had this really big realization, how can you share about that? How can you celebrate that client? How can you celebrate the work that your people are doing in your spacing? Not from a place of, we had this huge breakthrough and it was all because of me and you should work with me because of that. Like that can feel sleazy, but rather my client had this huge win and I'm so proud of her and I just want to celebrate her publicly. That's a way that you're still building that relationship, because you're letting your leads or your human beings see what it's like to work with you. See what it's like in your world. See what's possible for them when they do this kind of work, whatever your kind of work is.
Yeah.
And just ask yourself again, go back to, you're a human working with humans. How can you build real relationship with them? And take off all the rules of what it's supposed to look like or what other people are doing. How can you today build a relationship with them?
Right. Thank you for that. We have more questions, but in the interest of time, we'll wrap up our Q&A here. So thank you, Coach Chrissy, for a very insightful expert interview. All right. Now let's move on to the next segment, which is, here we go. All right, welcome back, fantastic Bam Bam. So there's so much takeaway from the previous segment. Coach Chrissy shared some incredible insights today about shifting your focus from not only visibility but to conversion as well. So build that relationship with your human. She said human, our human. All right. It's clear that with the right strategy, you can grow your client base without actually chasing that spotlight. All right. So, Fambam, my question to you: what's one conversion focused strategy you're ready to implement today? So, you share your answer with us in the comment, right? And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes packed with actionable advice, such as today. And let's look at the comments. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much as well, Francis, for being here. We're going to ask Okay, let's remove the question as well, and let's get back to here. So, Coach Quizzy, thank you so much for sharing such valuable insight with us today. It's always a pleasure to hear, from someone who's so passionate about helping entrepreneurs thrive. So now, I know many of our viewers or our fanbams are probably wondering, how can I work with Coach Creasy to get these strategies in place? So, can you tell us a bit more about how people can connect with you and work with you?
Yes. So in the essence of everything being as simple as can be, everything in my business is branded to my name. So my website, my Instagram handle, my Facebook page is all Chrissy Mellinger. Keep it as simple as can be. That's how you can connect with me. Send me a contact. Instagram. If you send me a DM on Instagram, I can almost guarantee you're getting a voice note back. So just FYI, I love voice notes. Or just send me an email through my website. And the way that you can work with me is I've got a group mastermind. I do offer some one-on-one coaching, but I
Mhm.
personally have found so much more growth through group spaces. And it's really fun that we can grow together and learn from one another instead of you just being stuck with just me. We actually get to work in group. So I've got a group mastermind called the Revenue Acceleration Mastermind. It is a space for service-based entrepreneurs. So it's more focused on service, not necessarily product or affiliate programs. A
Mhm.
lot of the teaching's the same, but the nuance is different. And it's a group program where we focus on the three main elements of a sustainable business. We do focus on visibility, but not visibility in the space of like just go splatter yourself all over the world. We focus
Right.
on how do we create that authority leadership position? How do we make you sought after so that other people are reaching out, so that you're not just one of 100,000 business coaches, but you are set apart? Then we
Mhm.
get into the conversion. How do we build you a client journey? How do we connect you with people? How do we build that ecosystem of support without it feeling overwhelming? How do we collect that data and make really smart, objective decisions on what to do moving forward? And
Mhm.
then the third thing is we focus straight on money. I am, as I said at the beginning, a big believer. Evidence shows us that when women have money and power and influence, the whole world is better off. So we focus
Yes.
on money. How do we make you more money? How do we create back end offers? How do we tweak your sales, your incentives, or your promotions? How do we create affiliate programs or referral systems? And really, at the end of the day, just get you more dollars in your pocket. So those are the three things we focus on, and we do that over the course of 3 to 6 months and really get your business in a place where it is completely sustainable. You're making more money, you're connecting with more humans, and you're actually enjoying it a lot more than you were before.
And what dollar investment are we looking at with this six months program?
For 6 months, it is $6,000 US. Payment plans available. I'm very open for the flexibility, meeting people where they're at.
Wow, those are fantastic opportunities, Coach Quizzy. So for everyone watching, don't wait. All right, take the next step and connect with Coach Quizzy right now if you're ready to transform your business journey. So she start from the beginning, visibility, conversion, and more money. All right. So that means that you're gonna get your ROI very fast.
Yes.
All right. Check it out. Check her website and connect with her through her socials. I'm going to flash it again on the screen. So you can contact her via her IG, Chrissy Mellinger. So they're all the same. She is present in Instagram, in Facebook, and in LinkedIn as well. And you can send her an email via her website, which is running below. All right. And some comments. Okay. Hey, RG. Thank you for being here. He said, sounds like an insightful session. Yes, it is. Looking forward to hearing Chris's strategy on client conversion. Yes, and watch the replay. Watch the replay. All right, here we go. So, Right. So, Coach Quizzy, if you could give one piece of motivation to our fam bam who are feeling stuck, what would it be?
If something is tugging on your heart, it's there for a reason. If you feel like you're stuck and you're asking yourself, am I crazy? Is this actually possible? Am I delusional? Am I, all the things?
Right.
If it is in your heart, it is there for a reason. So keep believing in yourself, even if it's the tiniest amount of belief of like, maybe I can do this. Maybe keep believing in yourself and pour yourself into that project because it is 100% there for a reason. You are not crazy. It is meant for you. Keep going after it.
Right. Wow. That's really encouraging, Coach Quizzy. All right. Now, it's clear that when we focus on building relationships rather than chasing visibility, right, amazing things happen. Opportunities open up for you, right? If you're ready to work with Coach Quizzy and create lasting success in your business, so be sure to reach out and take that next step. All right. Now, Coach Quizzy, any final words for our audience before we wrap up?
Subscribe to the channel. Ritz, it was a pleasure working with you today. Thank you so much for having me. I have watched a lot of the episodes that you have, and
Thank you.
it's an excellent show. So connect with me if you've got questions, and also subscribe to the show because you're going to learn a lot about business.
All right, Coach Quizzy, we can't thank you enough for being here today and sharing your strategies for building a streamlined client journey. We hope to have you once again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Chrissy Mellinger. Here we go. All right, coming up next in Talking Business with Ritz, we are going to talk about how to position your brand as the go-to expert in your niche. So mark your calendar on October 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern. And please do DM me your questions to be included in the Q&A segment. All right. So remember, here we go. Remember here at Talking Business with Ritz, it's all about humanizing entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is all about connection, and every person's journey brings something special to the table, right? Like what we have today. And thank you to everyone watching today. And if you love this episode, please do subscribe to the channel so you'll get the notification for future episode, and be sure to join us in our next episode next week. So until next time, stay inspired, keep pushing forward, and this is Ritzel, Rectra, and our expert guest, Coach Chrissy Mellinger. Stay safe and healthy as we continue talking business with Ritz. Bye, everybody.